I'm Janine Marson, and I'm a local artist and painter in the area. The Paddle Art Contest was launched by Algonquin Outfitters at the Algonquin Theatre on June the 3rd during the Real Paddling Film Festival. And it's a really cool event because you can do whatever you like. You don't even have to be an artist. You can be a family and put your handprints all over the paddle. Whatever you want to do, it's cool. So for $25, you go to Algonquin Outfitters, buy a smooth paddle, which you can paint, or you can buy a rougher one that's a little thicker that you can carve or maybe insert some stained glass, whatever it is you want to do. And then make sure you hand those paddles back by August the 31st of 2017 because Algonquin Outfitters is going to have an auction and there's a chance to win some really good prizes. So make sure you bring them back. So hurry down to Algonquin Outfitters and buy that paddle for 25 bucks. The other cool part about it is the funds are going back from the proceeds are going back to two art communities that I belong to. One is at Oxtongue Lake for Arts and Culture, so it goes to support them, but it also goes to support the art community in Huntsville for the Future Acquisition Fund of Public Art. And I've got my paddle here for the Algonquin Outfitters Paddle Art Contest, and I wanted to do something to honor the 100-year anniversary of Tom Thomson in 2017. So I've created a paddle that's everything to do about Tom and the North. On the grip of the paddle is 2017, which honors the 100-year anniversary, and it points due north, so I have a compass here pointing to due north. Tom loved the northern lights, so I've painted those. I've got the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper with Polaris, the North Star, pointing north. Tom actually had a very cool quote, and take everything as it comes, the wave passes, deal with the next one. And he was an engraver with grip and Rouse and Man, and so I pay homage to that engraving with the waves encircling the quote by Tom. The loon markings are reference to the fact that Tom and Winnie would have seen loons on Canoe Lake, and loons, from my understanding, usually mate for life, and they never got a chance to do that. So I'm referencing that thought of marriage together. There's a string of pearls here, which Winnie never got to wear for her wedding day. The two gold bands represent their wedding rings. The small droplets represent Winnie's tears that turn into rain, that turn into a cloud that Tom loved to paint so much. This insignia design here was designed by one of the group of seven, and it designates the fact to authenticate Tom Thomson's work after his death. So it's TT 1917. This is Latin for I Paint the Truth, which is what Tom's focus was all about, especially during his last spring in 1917. This picture of Tom is a little bit of a younger version, and I wanted to do that without the typical kind of swoop of hair across his face because he was young and impressionable. He didn't know who he was. He was trying to discover himself, and it's up here in the north of Algonquin Park that he found himself, and he found how much he loved painting. So that's why I chose that image for his portrait. This part here is the sketch, not the finished painting, but the sketch for Northern River. And it was originally done with gouache, brush, and ink. And down at the bottom there, of course, trees don't stop at the ground, the roots go below. And so still waters run deep, as do my roots at Oxtongue Lake. So the roots traveling down into an underground stream are referencing that. And of course, at the very tip of the paddle is the blue water. And Tom used cobalt blue and ultramarine blue, so how cool is that to have that on the tip? I wanted to do something special to honor the 100-year anniversary since Thomson's death. And I couldn't think about what I wanted to do, and then it finally came to me. What did I really admire most about Thomson was the fact he got out there and did it. He went and painted in every weather, every kind of circumstance, and especially in his last spring, for 62 days straight, he painted what he saw and what he loved. And I thought, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do to honor Tom. So I'm creating 100 8x10 oil on birch panels, just like Tom did. It's really cool for people to see what I'm up to, and I've had a lot of people following me on my page on Facebook, which is Janine Marson, JANINE-MARSON, or you can follow my journey of discovery on Twitter at Through Tom's Eyes. One of the wonderful things about this paddle art contest that Algonquin Outfitters has launched is that it helps both communities that I belong to. Proceeds of that funding will go to Oxtongue Lake for Arts and Culture, of whom I'm a member of, a volunteer member. It helps that community, but it also helps the community I live in, which is in Huntsville, with the Public Acquisition Fund for Art for the town of Huntsville. Oxtongue Lake for Arts and Culture is thrilled to be able to present a prize to someone who actually enters a paddle in the Algonquin Outfitters Paddle Art Contest. So this is just an example of one of the cool prizes you could win when you submit your paddle back to Algonquin Outfitters. The prize is actually 4 3-hour classes with myself, and also some art supplies for the value of $50. But you also get the chance to come and explore your art side with me. So Oxtongue Lake for Arts and Culture is supplying that prize for Algonquin Outfitters.